The moment I discovered Collins's betrayal, my heart shattered. She said, "This is the 21st century. Things have changed." And she asked for an open marriage. I saw them together and my soul burned with anger. Every kiss, every touch was a lie. Our life, a facade, crumbled around me. In that instant, I vowed revenge. The pain fueled my resolve. This is my journey through heartbreak and revenge. This is my story. Enjoy watching it. "No, I don't think I'll stay," I said. She gave me a strange look. "Why not?" "You said you'd be back to tell me all about it," I explained. "I won't be here to hear it." "Where are you going?" she asked. "Away," I replied. She frowned. "What do you mean, away?" "It's not for you to know," I answered. "You're acting like a kid," she said. "Grow up. It's the modern world. Things are different." "I'm sure they are," I agreed. "But I haven't changed much. Sure, there's a bit more gray in my beard, but it's still me. You, though, you've changed a lot, and not for the better." She looked down at herself. She hadn't changed on the outside. She was still stunning, even more beautiful than when we first met, fuller in all the right places, still with that amazing face and all that dark hair, her eyes a dazzling mix of colors. Yes, she looked great, from the outside, but inside was a different story. "What are you talking about?" she asked. "Like how you're going to dinner with another guy," I pointed out. "And you won't say who. Seems like a big change to me." "Oh, that's nothing," she said. "I told you I love you more than ever. It doesn't change how I feel about you." "I can't say the same," I replied. "What do you mean?" "About an hour ago, I loved you more than ever," I said. "But that's been dropping every minute since. Now I'm more disgusted than in love." Her face looked pained. I knew that look too well. "That's sad to hear," she said. "Well, that's life," I told her. "I'm always let down. Like yesterday, I hoped to hit 85 on the golf course, but then I messed up on hole 11 and ended up with an 87. She looked lost. "Why bring up golf?" "Golf can let you down," I said. "You talked about being let down. I just wanted to share something from my side, that's all." She didn't like my light mood. I could see it. "Barnes, I'm leaving in 20 minutes, she said. "I think you should really listen and try to get it." "I am listening," I said. "But Collins, I've started to see you're not that deep." That hit her hard. She thought she was deep. She ran her own show, earned good money, and was smart, on her own, and pretty. Most folks took her serious, I bet. "I can't see why you'd say that," she said. "Barnes, I'm heading out. I know you're not happy about it, but you'll see nothing will change. I'm going to make you very happy. It's a bit selfish of me, but I've thought it through. I've made peace with it. You don't get it, but once you do, all will be the same for you." "You're mistaken," I said. "Mistaken how?" she asked. "Mistaken that nothing is going to change. A lot will change. In fact, it's started," I said. "What's changed?" she asked. "You've changed. How you see me has changed. You've got wrong ideas now. How I see you has changed. Other stuff hasn't changed yet, but it will." "Like what?" she pushed. "For one, what do you think Sylvia and Beck will think about their folks splitting?" she gasped. "What the hell, Barnes? What are you saying? We're not splitting, and what we do is our thing." "Yes, I agree. Well, not about the not splitting part, but about the our thing." "Sorry, but you're missing the point. It's not about us. It's about you and some other guy." "I can tell you're going to be hard to deal with," she said. "Barnes, let's put this off and talk it out later." "No, we're not," I said. "I'm leaving." "This should be more important than any plans you have," she said. "I'm dropping my plans. I thought you'd do the same." "I didn't have plans. Just thought of leaving now," I said. She seemed ready to fight me on it. "Collins, it's too late," I told her. "I don't know how late, but as soon as you started thinking I'd put up with your mess, when you stopped seeing me as your man and husband, that was when it was too late." "That's not true," she almost yelled. "I never stopped respecting you." "The thing is, I don't believe you," I said. "Everything since you got home tells me it's true and I can't be swayed. I'm leaving, Collins. You should just go on your date. I'm done." I walked off, grabbed my coat, wallet, and keys, headed to the door, and left. "Wait!" She rushed to the door, but her high heels slowed her. I closed the door and got in my truck. She was too late. I was already driving off. I thought to check what Beck was up to. She lived close, so I messaged her. WID? Netflix, she replied right away. Mind if I join? I asked. She sent a heart back. I'll pop corn. When I arrived, she was snuggled under a blanket on her couch. Davy, her huge dog, greeted me at the door, almost knocking me over with love. Hiya, bud. I kept my balance and gave him a nice scratch and rub, while he wiggled all over, drooled on my pants, and made happy snoring sounds. Walking into Beck's house always takes a bit, until Davy calms down from his joy of seeing guests. By the time I got to the couch, Beck had wine and popcorn ready for me. I sipped the wine and looked at her. Don't start, she said. I like sweet wine. You don't. My place, my rules. I laughed. Hey, I tried to show you good taste. Not my fault you didn't pick it up. She took a towel, cleaned the drool off my pants, put a blanket over my legs, and cuddled next to me. How's Mom? She asked. Not too sure, I answered. She gave me a look. That's odd. Yeah, I think so too. What's up, Dad? Why don't you know? Well, when I got back from work, she said she was going on a date, I explained. I didn't like it, and she said she'd cancel it so we could talk. I had enough talking and just left, so I don't know if she went or if she's home waiting. She stared at me, mouth wide. What the heck, Dad? She ignored my frown at her swearing. You mean a date? Beck, I'm just as shocked, really. She told me about a date with a guy, wouldn't say who, and acted like I should be cool with it. What? Dad, are you kidding? You got that right? I'm sure, and I wish it was a joke. What's been going on? She asked. Damn. I was there Wednesday and you two acted normal. Nothing was up. Hey, I thought all was good, I said. I had no clue, only found out tonight. I'm gonna call her, she said. Collins picked up, and the chat I got to hear was quite something. Beck didn't waste time. Where's Mom? With who? Mom, come on. Dad's right here with me. Nope, you just fibbed to me. What's going on? You fibbed. My mom just fibbed to me. I don't care. You lied. How will you fix this? No more tall tales. Don't call me. Don't come by. I'll reach out if I want to talk. She hung up. We just sat. I had no words. I hugged Beck tight. She shook, then cried into my shirt. She lied to me, Dad. Said she was with you eating out. She fibbed. So, you were right. All I did was hold her, feeling tears myself. Looks like she did go on that date. I get it, Beck. It will be okay. Stop crying. You're tearing me apart. How can it be okay? She looked at me, sad tears turned mad. My mom lied to me. She's out there, maybe on a date, and she tried to cover it up. Dad, what now? I'm lost, I admitted. Beck, I'm just as lost. Came here to hang, clear my head. Didn't think you'd ask, my bad. It's not you. I asked. She grabbed tissues, cleaned her eyes and nose. She eyed me, lay down with Davy. He wasn't happy being woken up, and soon she was back with me, cuddled up. Hugging Davy helps, she said. Hugging you helps me, I shared. You don't stink like Davy. She laughed. Yeah, he smells. Talk to me, Dad. What's up with you and Mom? What's next? Truth is, I don't know. To all of that, I just don't know. I'm so shocked, she whispered. Then quiet for a bit. We gotta ring Sylvia, she declared, pulling out her phone. Yo, Sil, where you at? Need you to show up here fast. Yep, it's big. Get here now. Cool, see ya. She's at Straps, she mentioned. That's a club they dig. Just 10 mins off. She's catching an Uber. We munched on popcorn and sipped our wine, speaking soft about what might be up with Collins. Sylvia got in about 20 mins later. She did the Davy hello and settled next to Beck. Sylvia came into the world 3 years ahead of Beck. They were super tight, did everything as a pair. Beck was small, like her mom, a tiny blonde fairy. Sylvia was taller by 4 inches, had her mom's hair and eyes, a bit bigger, darker look-alike of her mom. She wrapped us in a hug. What's going on? She asked. Why the rush? I was out having fun. This better be something. Beck eyed her. It's not good. You been drinking? Sylvia laughed. Told you was out. Had 2 drinks and smoked, okay? Make some coffee, Dad, Beck snapped. This is real bad, Sil. Once I made coffee and Sylvia started on her second cup. Beck spilled what she knew. Sylvia looked kinda hit by it. Dad, there's gotta be more here, she said. You sure you're not hiding stuff? You guys been arguing? Any trouble, when it's just you two? Yeah, we argue, I said. Not more than when you guys were here. Less, actually. Most times it was about you two. Beck tapped me. Ouch, I laughed. And no trouble that I know of when it's just us. If there is, I ain't noticing, and your mom said nothing. We gotta talk to her, said Sylvia. You too, Beck, but most of all you, Dad. Why didn't you just stay and talk to her? I guess I should have, I said, feeling guilty. I was so mad, though. You didn't see how cold she was when she told me. Beck gave me a hug. I get it, Dad, but Syl is right. We gotta talk to her, see what's on her mind. When do you think you can do it without blowing up? I'm not sure, I replied. But I hope it's soon. This is tough for me. I'm heading to the lake to try and calm down enough to sleep. Maybe tomorrow I'll be in a better place. I'll come, Beck said, and went to get a bag and a blanket for Davy. Before leaving her room, she turned back. Give Dad a blunt, she told Sylvia. Sylvia looked at me, asking silently. I nodded, and she handed me one from her bag. I don't smoke much, only sometimes with Collins. It helps with stress, and I sure needed it now. Beck came back, packed some dog food, and grabbed Davy's stuff. I carried his bed, and we all headed to my truck. Sylvia followed us out. We threw everything in the back and got Davy settled. In the morning, I'm going to see Mom, Sylvia said. Beck, try to get a time to see her too. Dad, please don't do anything stupid, okay? I might, I replied, half joking. I'm kind of stupid, but I'll try not to be extra stupid. Sylvia gave us big hugs. Davy jumped in, and we drove off. Beck drilled me with questions the whole way. Some I could answer, and some I just couldn't. We made it to the lake house, took Davy down to the water, and walked around. Beck held my hand like she always has. Some stuff never changes, and that felt nice. Davy had fun swimming, chasing sticks, frogs, and even a squirrel. Then we headed back. The sky was getting dark, and we fixed our stuff. I looked over our drink supply. How about a mojito? I asked Beck. Sounds good, she replied. Yes. I mixed 2 big ones, pouring in 2 shots of rum in each. Beck had lit the fireplace, and we enjoyed our drinks while chatting. We lit up, and I started feeling very chill. What do you say, Dad? She asked. I've got some ideas, but it all hangs on your mom, I replied. This thing, Beck, it's all kinds of wrong. Maybe she says she flipped out, takes it all back. Then what? We get help, Beck said. I chuckled. Sure, the fix-it trick. Worth a try, I guess. And if she sticks to her guns, she pressed. Then we're looking at court, I answered. She can't want that. How could she? I've got no clue, I said. You're the smart one, Beck. You're on your way to being a shrink. What drives someone to do what she's doing? I honestly don't know, she said. I know what the books say. People cheat for revenge, fear of sticking around. They find someone else hot, they're forced close with someone, or they're missing something with their main squeeze. Maybe it's a bit of everything. Doesn't feel like Mom, though. I don't know if it does, I mentioned. If she had issues, you'd think she'd talk to me. Let me try to fix whatever it is. You'd think, she agreed. Looks like we'll see. I'm going to talk to her tomorrow, Dad. Need a ride back to get my car. I slept pretty good, surprisingly. I watched clips and kept my mind off things till I fell asleep, dropping my phone. I just turned it off and slept. Woke up, got ready for the day, took Davy out, and he had fun in the bushes for a while. When we got back, Beck was up. Got anything to eat, Dad? She asked. Not much, sweetie. We should have picked up something on our way here. Okay, she said. How about breakfast? I want French toast at Gailey's. Sure. We left Davy at home. He just sleeps when he's bored. The breakfast was good. We talked about made-up stuff, then about school, work, Davy, and her job training, till we had enough. After, we went back, got her stuff, and picked up Davy. Then I took her back to her place. I drove to the lake, sat in a porch swing, and watched the boats. I felt alone. I missed Collins a lot. We used to just sit and enjoy. I even missed Beck. Davy would have been nice to have around, too. I decided to fish. I caught 6 big fish near the trees. I cleaned them and made them with frozen fries. It was yummy. When I checked my phone, both girls had messaged me to come to Beck's. I went over. They were having pizza. Beck handed me a beer, and we sat at her kitchen counter while they ate. I talked to her, Beck said. Me too, Sylvia added. And I pushed. You won't like it. Beck replied. She's not happy, not with you, but with life. She wants fun, a challenge. This guy she knows from work is flirting with her. She likes the attention, feeling wanted. She's thinking of dating. Not to get serious, but it might happen. She says she loves you and you can date too. I sat quiet, thinking it over. Sylvia, you got the same? I asked. Yeah, she said. Dad, I don't think this will last. She'll see it and it will pass, Syl said. What the heck, Syl? You're cool with this? Beck yelled out. I didn't say I was cool with it, she shot back. I said I think it's short. She'll move on and we can go back to how it was. I was shocked. What do you think I should do while she's moving on? I asked. Just love her, wait for her, let her calm down, she said. She loves you, Dad. She's just going through something like a midlife thing. How about no? Beck snapped. Let her buy a fast car, get some wild gear, and have Dad play wild games, race bikes. Those are midlife things, not hooking up with other guys. So what else do you suggest? Split up? Lock her up? Syl asked. I don't know, I said. Splitting up, yeah, that's a choice. No, it's not, Syl said strong. Come on, Dad, don't lose your head over this. You two are meant to be. You know that. Shouldn't you be talking to Mom? Beck said. Tell her not to lose her head. This is messed up, Syl. You're siding with her and Dad's done nothing wrong, nothing. I'm not picking sides, Syl said fast. That's bad too, isn't it? Beck was heated. You should pick a side, not talk this weight trash. Wait, my foot. She went out with some weird guy, Syl. You know he's weird. If he wasn't, he wouldn't be after a married lady. And she's wrong for going with him. Hey, let's just cool it. I tried to calm things, but they weren't listening. So what do you want, Beck? You want our Mom and Dad to split? Is that it? It's not about what I want, Beck said. It's not about what you want. It's about what Dad wants. Don't forget, Syl, Dad didn't ask for any of this. Mom did this, and it's on her to make it right. I'm telling you now, she can get what she wants. But until she sorts herself out, she better get used to us doing things my way. And what's that? Sylvia asked. I want to see her less and hear her not at all. So you're just going to give up on our Mom? I'm not giving up on anything, Sylvia, and that's your mistake. You don't see it. Everything that went down since Dad got back last night is on Mom. All of it. She's the one in charge, and if you don't see that, you might have the same issue as her. Hold on, let's calm down. I tried to hug them. Beck let me, but Sylvia turned, got her bag, and left. Beck and I watched from the window as Sylvia got into her car. The lights went on, then off. She stepped out, then turned, got back in, and left. I'm so mad at her, Beck said, hot with anger. I'm sorry, Dad, but that was wrong. She leaned on me, and I took a moment. Yeah, it was, but it's not Sylvia who's wrong, Beck. It's your Mom. Kids, even grown ones, shouldn't be stuck in the middle. We've been tight as a family all our lives, closer to you and Sylvia than most dads, and you two with your Mom. This mess shouldn't be your fight, and not Sylvia's either. I'm sorry it is. Dad, it's not on you, she replied. You're right. It's Mom's mess. But Sylvia acting like it's small and we should just be patient is wrong, too. Just don't cut ties, I said. Let me talk to her. I'll think of something. I love you heaps, Beck. I can't stand seeing you hurt. She held me tight. I trust you, Dad. I'll wait and see what you do. Stay close, okay? Always, I said back. It was time to face the tough stuff. No more waiting, no more halfway living. When I drove into the garage, her car was there. I sat for a moment, tried to find some peace, sighed, and went inside. My stomach was all knots, feeling like bad food was in there, so I got some milk to help. Collins was in her workroom but came out when she heard me. She looked as rough as I felt. Hey, I greeted. I'm happy you're fine in here, she said, looking right at me. Collins, I'm far from fine, I admitted. She seemed thoughtful. I know I meant safe. Want to talk? I nodded. Here or the living room? She asked. Living room sounds good, I answered. She agreed, took some juice for herself, and I picked up a box of Wheat Thins. I followed her to the living room and we sat on the couch. About a foot of space between us, which felt odd. She usually liked to be close. Maybe I was giving off vibes I didn't like this. I really didn't. I need to say sorry, Barnes, she started. I messed up. Really bad. I stopped her. Collins, if you think messing up is the issue here, we're just wasting our time. She looked confused. I don't get it. Let me be clear, I said. There's no way you could mess up telling me you're going out with someone else that makes it okay. Get it? I get what you're saying, but you're not getting me, she replied. All right, you listened, so your turn. Make me get it. When I say mess up, I mean I should have explained my reasons so you'd be okay with it. To make that okay, you'd need some kind of magic, I said. You got magic now? She actually smiled. Not magic, no, but almost, she said. I spread my hands. You're up, Miss LeFay. Think about this, Barnes. How old are we? You're 48, and you've got me beat by a year at 49, I said. She grinned. Yep, and I feel it. Not in my body, though. We're both in good shape, feeling young like we're 25, but in my head it's different. Remember being 25, Barnes? I have some memories, sure. Me too. Back then, life was exciting, full of new things, like we could do anything. Everything was bright, we were full of life, colors popped, love was an adventure every day. Remember that? Yeah. Now think about our days, she said. We know what we're going to do. Sundays might be for church, or we might stay in bed, be close, cook dinner, you might watch football, or we pick a movie. We've done it all before. Okay, I get that. Monday, it's back to work. We come home, repeat the same old things day after day, year after year. I feel like we're just existing. I get it, I said, but I actually like our routine. I want to keep doing those things. That's why we do them, because we enjoy them. If not, we'd change. That's my point, she said. I like our routine too, but I also want to add new things, feel excited by life again. I want to keep growing, try new things. I see. So you thought I wasn't open to new experiences? It sounds like you think we can explore together. I think we can, she said. I told you I was going out. Then I'd come back and share everything with you. You could do that too, Barnes. I think we see together very differently, I said. She looked puzzled. How so? To me, together means just you and me. When someone else comes into the picture, it's not together anymore. She paused. When was the last time you were alone with another woman, not counting family or the girls? Well, if we skip family, it's been half a year. Remember when I went to Kansas City with Amber for the phone company meeting? She nodded. I know Amber. Is there a spark between you two? Not that I can tell, I answered. Sure, she's pretty, but I'm married, 10 years older, and we just work well together. Nothing more. But she's pretty and single. What if you two had dinner, hit a club, and danced? That'd be thrilling, right? Maybe, but I don't do that, I said. Why not? She pushed. Because I'm married to you. I stay away from situations that would thrill me with anyone else, I explained. What if I was fine with it? She asked. It doesn't change things for me, I replied. I wouldn't be fine with it. She sighed. I'd be okay with it now. Maybe not 10 years back, but I've grown. I think you should be okay with me doing the same. But that's the problem, I said. I'm not okay with it. We made promises. If you want to leave, that's your choice. I can't make you stay. I only decide for me. I don't want to leave, she said. I want to be more free, you know. I want to jump into any fun that comes by, but not leave. Will you do this even if I don't like it? She let out a long sigh. I think so, yes. The way you talk about this, how you've thought it all through, it tells me a lot, I said. You haven't been open with me. You've been hiding these ideas from me for some time. What else are you keeping from me? And that stunt on Friday night? I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. I was upset because you left when I wanted to talk. That's not true, Collins. You planned that way before Friday, and you wanted to go even before you told me. And lying to Beck, too. You're good at lying. I couldn't hide my anger. I said I would cancel and we could talk. She ignored the rest. Enough of this talking. Fine, you had your chance at this talk, I said. I still feel the same. It's not about how you tell me. It's that you did it, plan to do more and want to. I can't control you, but I can control me. I will pack my stuff and go. What the heck, Barnes? I don't want that, she said. I won't do it. But you'll still want to, I replied. I can't trust you now. You pretty much said I'm dull, that you need more fun in your life, bright and bold. Even if you did nothing, I would know how you feel, and you can't make me believe you won't regret a dull life. We want different things, Collins. It's best to move on. I went down to the basement, grabbed some bags, brought them up to our room and started to pack. I had enough stuff for a week or so. I could go back later for more. She followed me the whole time, saying she didn't want this. We could fix it, but I wasn't hearing her. I loaded my truck and she tried to hop in. Lucky for me, the door was locked. She stood in the drive as I left. It made me sad. I loved her. Felt like I lost half of me. I just couldn't see a way to make it work. I made sure to hit the grocery store this time, kept me a bit busy, kept my mind off things for a while. The drive to the lake brought it all back hard. Tried listening to a podcast, but by the time I got there, couldn't tell you a thing about it. I moved my gear inside and put it away, feeling kind of numb. Thought about calling the girls, but didn't have it in me. Turns out, I had to find the energy anyway. About an hour in, my phone rang. It was Sylvia. I answered. "Hi, sweetie," I said. "Dad, where are you?" she asked. "At the lake," I replied. "You?" "I'm at your house," she said. "Mom asked me to come." Another call beeped in. It was Beck. "Hold on, Beck's calling," I said. I told her I'd ring back, was talking to Sylvia. Beck was okay with it, so I flipped back. "Back with you. I'm glad you're there for your mom." "She's really upset, Dad. You should be here, not me." "I know," I said. "Sylvia, tough talk. Sure we should do this now?" She paused. "No, guess not. You coming back?" "No, kiddo. I'll explain when I see you, okay?" "Not okay, but got it," she said. "Dad, I've got work. Can't stay here. I'll stay tonight, but work's crazy. Don't know about tomorrow." "Mom works too," I said. "It's not all on you, Sylvia. Do what you need. Your mom and I are grown-ups." She was sad. "I'm so sorry, Sylvia. It's tough, I know. I love you a lot. You're my first kid, so you're always going to be special to me." Tears were in her voice. "Love you too, Dad. Bye." I got myself together and rang Beck. "Hi, dear." "You all right, Dad?" she asked. "I'll be fine," I said. "You?" "Same," she said. "Guess you're at the lake?" "Yeah, come over?" "I'll share what went down." "Sure, I've packed," she said. "Got online classes, but need to work Wednesday and Thursday. Can I stay the week?" "You don't have to ask. I'll make every moment count," I promised. "Got it," she said. "See you in a bit." Dinner was ready when I heard the porch door and Davy's toenails on the floor. He came looking for the food, so I had to pause to pet him. Gave him some scraps from the pork chops, then washed up as Beck hugged me. Hands dry, I hugged her back. "Smells great," she said. "No, Davy." She cleaned his mouth with some towels. He settled down by us and we started eating. It was quite good. "I take it things didn't go well," she noted. "No, just excuses. In the end, she's bored and misses being young." Great. Beck wasn't impressed. "Question," I said. "If your mom was a stranger coming to you for help, what would you think?" "I wouldn't see her or anyone close for help," she answered. "But if a stranger with her story came to me, I'd think they were sad about getting older. There's no thing like a midlife crisis." "Did not know that," I said. "I thought that was real, you know. I hear about them all the time." "Yeah. Movies and books make it seem so big that everyone thinks it's true," she said. "It's not something you find in a doctor's book. It's more about a time in life when some folks see they won't live forever. They start to feel their good years slipping and get sad, do dumb things to feel alive again." "Wow! Who knew?" I said. "You're so smart." She gave me a smile. "Yep, I am. Remember that?" "Do you think she needs to see someone like a talk doc?" I asked. "I think so, and I'll say it to her, but I'm not stepping in," she said. "I get it. I wish you didn't have to be so in it. I'm really sorry." "It's not on you," she said. "I know you're sad for me. I'm sad for you too. But we'll get through, right?" "Right. No other way," I said. Sylvia came over Tuesday night, Beck made potato salad, and I did burgers. We sat out back, eating and chatting. "Dad, Mom's not doing great," Sylvia said. "Yep, me neither," I told her. "What's going to happen?" she asked. "She wants you back. She said she'd drop all that stuff. She knows she messed up and feels sorry." "Maybe she does, kind of." "What do you mean, kind of?" "It's a bit hard to put into words, but I'll try." "I'm listening," Beck said. "Just a sec," I said. "You girls want a drink?" "What do you have?" Sylvia asked. "Got stuff for Palomas," I said. "Yum," said Beck. I'm in. Sylvia was too. So I thought over my words while mixing drinks. Once settled, I gave it a shot. Sylvia, you still seeing that one guy? Dickweed, said Beck quickly. Sylvia laughed. Nope, ditched him. Met a new one here about a month ago. Not a dickweed. His name's Richard. Oh no, Dick! They cracked up. It threw me off a bit. I tried again. Let's say Dick. But they laughed. Okay, Richard. Imagine Richard told you that he finds you dull, Sylvia. How would that make you feel? Not good, she replied. I'm not dull. True, but if he thinks so, what can you do? Can you fight how someone feels? I'm not sure what you mean, she said. Look, Beck, you don't like raisins. Sylvia, you're not a fan of coconut. That's just how you feel. Would you change your mind if I insisted you liked those things? No, Beck said. I get what you're trying to say. Did Mom really say you were dull in those exact words? Not exactly. I can't remember it all. She said a bunch of shy stuff. Shit, Beck said. We're grown-ups, Dad, Sylvia noted. Surprise, but I swear too. What's your go-to swear word? Beck couldn't stop laughing. Probably fuck, replied Sylvia. Enough, I scolded, which only made them laugh harder. She asked me if I remembered our days at 25, like your age now. She had all these nice things to say about how great we were, how exciting life was, how everything felt new and alive. She felt we're just repeating ourselves now, stuck in a loop, wanting that thrill back. Do you feel that, Dad? Asked Beck. A bit, I admitted. I know I'm not 25. I like our life, or I'd change it. I don't see a problem, Sylvia stated. What did she say? She wants new experiences, I said, but not with me. She wants to be with other men. She enjoys the chase, the feeling of being wanted, so she plans to date them and, if it goes well, have sex. Oh my God, Beck exclaimed. How should I handle this? I asked them. Can I tell her she's wrong? She feels what she feels. You can't fight feelings. Will all that fun and color she says is gone just pop up? No, it won't, Beck said. Did you try to find fun things to do just you two? Sylvia asked. Think, dear, I said. Do you really think this hit her on Friday, that she just thought it up and decided to go out with someone else all in one day? No, she said. What are you saying? I mean, she's been mulling over this for a while, I said. Did she talk to me? Not a word. Did she let me try to plan some exciting stuff for us? No, she didn't. She wants thrills with someone else. And if I pushed her into staying away from what she wants, she'd hate me for it. Get it? I get it, Beck said. Me too, Sylvia added. Dad, if she saw a therapist, got help, changed her mind about how she feels, do you think things could get better? I shook my head. Sylvia, she thought she could sneak this by me. Just tell me she was going on a date and I'd be fine with that. That's so disrespectful. She slumped in her chair. Yeah, Dad, I see that. I'm sorry. What if she was sorry? Do you think she is? I said. She said she was sorry she didn't handle telling me better, not that she was sorry for doing it. I'll talk to her. Silponge water. Via said. Beck, can you help? If she agrees, will you suggest a good therapist? I will, Beck said. If she reaches out, I'm there, Sil. I won't butt in unless she wants me to. She has to want the help. Sylvia left, looking sad. I hated that, but she hugged us, said she loved us and would come visit a lot. Beck kept some sort of cold bond with Collins, but she barely talked about her as time went on. Sylvia always filled me in on the gossip. Collins turned down any thought of therapy, though she was okay with the idea of sharing a counselor. I asked Beck her take, and she found it pointless. She figured if we didn't dig into the real issue bothering Collins, all we'd do is have her hide how she feels or make me okay with what she wanted. Do you want that? Beck asked me. No, I'm not into other women, and even less into letting her be with other guys, I said. Sylvia was there and threw out a curious thought. You sure, Dad? What if you just saw it as a short break from being married and had fun with some attractive women for a bit? Once Mom is over her funk, you could go back to how it was. Could we? I questioned. What if in 2, 5, or 10 years she feels restless again? Plus, I don't know any attractive women to meet up with even if I wanted to, which I don't. Do you see any waiting outside? Should I check? They laughed. Unless you work with them or they rob your house, you're not meeting any, Beck joked. Dad, you're a handsome man for your age, Sylvia said. If you looked, I think you'd find someone easily. I'm not interested, I said. No, Sylvia, I just can't do that. It's not me. Are you let down? In a way, yes, she admitted. I'm sad you and Mom aren't good together, but in another, I got to admire you. You know yourself, you have standards, and you're sticking to them. That's cool. 2 months went by. Nothing changed. I was fed up. I started the divorce process. That led to a quick call from Collins. This is too much, Barnes, Collins said on the phone. You're divorcing me? You don't have a reason. What will you say to the judge? I don't need to say anything, I told her. That's what no-fault divorce means. What about to others? She asked. I won't say a thing, I told her. It's not their stuff to know. I'm coming over, she said. We need to chat about this before it's too late. Should I cook dinner Friday? I asked. Yes, that's perfect, she replied. I was finishing up dinner when the door swung open. It bugged me that she just walked in. We both owned the lake house, sure, but I never just walked into our townhouse like that. I only went there to pick up my things when she was out. Anyway, there she was. She still looked good, making my heart beat fast, even though I was careful around her. She dropped her bag on a chair and came over for a hug, wanting a kiss too. I was okay with a hug, but a kiss felt wrong now. She seemed sad, but so was I, and I had a reason. Can I help? She asked. It's all set, I replied. You can help set the table while I grab the dishes. We got our food and poured wine, and then she started talking. I don't want a divorce, Barnes. That's what gets me, I said. Why not? Because I love you and want to be with you always, she said. But why? I asked. You've been with me almost all our grown-up life, and you weren't happy, right? I never said I wasn't happy, she replied. You didn't need to say it, I said. You showed me you weren't. Don't twist words with me, Collins. You made it clear you weren't pleased. If that's what you thought, you got it wrong, she said. I was happy. I just wanted us to be more happy. Fine. But your idea of more happy meant being with other guys, I said. That made me very unhappy. Seems simple to me. We split, you can be with other guys as much as you want, and I won't feel bad. You're seeing other guys. You said it in a mean way. Well, it's not a nice thing, I said back. The thing is, I won't be with you while you're with them. You do your thing, I'll do mine. Maybe I'll find someone who only wants me. That's good. You get what you want, I get mine too. I don't want that, she said. Why pick between being with you and seeing other guys now and then? If I have to choose, I choose you. I get it. And the girls, well, Sylvia, told me you feel that way. But here's the thing. I don't want a wife who thinks about being with other guys, even if she doesn't do it. We had eaten, and were now sitting on the couch. So, we're done? She asked. Even though I love you and I'd stop for you, you still don't want me? Yes, Collins, we're done. Look at me, Barnes, she said. I looked. Suddenly she was on me, kissing me, holding me tight, close to me. For a moment, I forgot everything else. Then I remembered and went still. She kept going, then noticed I wasn't into it and stopped. What's wrong? She asked. Collins, have you been going out with others? I knew the answer. I saw her worry. She chose to tell the truth. Yes, Barnes, I have. Were you with them? I asked. She paused, then nodded. Yes, 2 of them. That's the problem, I said. Jesus, Barnes, I was with others before we even met, she said. You were with other girls, too. But those words, before we met, are important, I said. I haven't been with anyone else since we got together, not even close. But you can't say the same now. Then be with some women, she said. I said you could. No way, I said, not for me. You gonna date? She asked. Yeah, maybe soon, I said. I like being hitched. It's not dull to me. She let out a sigh. Can I be one you go out with? Could be, I said, but I doubt it. I don't see you that way. Maybe I'll stop being mad at how you acted. Maybe I won't think of the other men you see, but don't wait up. She was upset and she stood up, grabbed her bag. Tell me if you change your mind, she said, and left. The divorce moved slow in court, and her lawyer asked for us to talk it out with help. That was a shock, and the judge said he had to make us do it if one asked. I won't do it, I told my lawyer. It's not their place to say. No way. You could get in trouble, he said. You're the pro, I said. Work it out. I can't, he said. That's the law. I thought for a bit. What if we stop the divorce? Can he still make us do it? He was shocked. No, I guess not. You want that? Yes, make it so, I said. That shocked everyone, and Collins looked too pleased. After it was all called off, I walked over. I stopped the divorce because I won't be made to do stuff, I told her. Till you stop your nonsense, this is it. Don't call, text, or anything else. I'm done for good if that's what you pick. Her mouth fell open and she tried to speak, but I just walked off. She tried to reach out for 2 months, even sneaky ways like through our friend Sylvia. Beck and her mom were not talking, and this made things hard between Beck and Sylvia too. She tried to come to the lake house 3 times, but I was smart enough to change the locks and keep the doors locked tight. I just ignored her. She even showed up at my shop once, and I had to get her kicked out. After 2 months, she gave up and told Sylvia she wouldn't beg for counseling if I wanted to end things. We did, went to see the judge, and the divorce was easy. The judge seemed a bit sad, but everything was agreed upon by us, so he couldn't say much. She got the city house and I got the lake house, which is what I wanted. We split things fair, kept our own businesses, no money exchanged for support, and kept our own retirement funds. All the usual boring divorce stuff. I then started to sell the business. It was quick, and soon I was in retirement mode. I spent my days fishing, learned how to water ski, and the girls and I almost lived on the boat all summer. When it got cold in October, I was ready for a change. I applied for a visa to live in Mexico for 180 days as a tourist, thinking it'd give me a good feel for what I wanted next. I got the lake house ready for winter, swapped my Chevy for a bigger F350 truck, got an Eagle Cap luxury 1200 camper, hooked up the boat, and headed south to Lake Bacarac, in Sinaloa, Mexico, where I'd spend the next 180 days. The girls were a bit sad about it, but they'd adjust. After I promised them endless beach days and bought them tickets to Guadalajara, they were actually excited. Within the first week there, I bought a 5-acre plot not far from the lake, got the power and water set up, and by the end of the month, I felt right at home. The second time I went fishing in the lake, I caught a 14-pound big bass. That got me into fishing. Sylvia came in January. I picked her up from the airport. We drove to Puerto Vallarta. I asked if she wanted to stay by the beach with me or in a hotel. She chose the hotel. It was a nice place, and we had a lot of fun. She stayed for a week. On her last day, we sat in chairs looking at the sea. "You won't come back, will you, Dad?" she asked. "I'm not sure yet," I said. "I might stay, but you girls are important to me. I'll fly you down here when you want, and I'll visit you often, too." "What about Mom?" she asked. I made a face. "Is she okay?" "I think so," she said. "She's quiet these days, not as happy. She doesn't like dating as much as she thought." "That's sad," I said. "Let's not talk about her, okay?" She gave a little sad smile. "Okay." We tried to forget the sad talk and had fun that night. I took her to the airport. We hugged a lot and she left, saying she'd come back soon. Beck came in February. It was like Sylvia's visit, but she stayed with me in the camper. We spent 3 days at the beach. On day 3, she asked, "Where do you really live, Dad?" I told her, and she wanted to see. So we drove there. It was a long trip, but fun. When we got there, she saw the lake, 2 sheds I made, and the land. She loved it. "I can't believe you got this pretty place. The small, cute house on wheels, and you really live here," she said. "I'm a lucky man," I said. "It would be even better if you lived here too." She gave me a thinking look. "I have no idea how I'd make money here. I want to use my school study." "Do you know what I studied?" I asked her. "I think you told me. I forgot. I just know you went to school." "It's agribusiness," I told her. She laughed. "Farming? What does that have to do with making things from metal?" "I started with metal because I was working at a place that sells farm tools," I explained. "We always had these big farm machines come in with a broken part. I thought of making tougher parts. It grew from there." "That's new to me," she said. "What I mean is, you can use your study in different ways," I said. "Tell me about that." "You're good at listening to people, right?" I said. "Yeah, that's a lot of what I do," she said. "People talk to bartenders about their problems too," I pointed out. She laughed. "True, they do." Then she had to go back home for 2 weeks. I missed her a lot, then went back to my happy life. After half a year, she called me. "I need help," she said. "If I can, I will," I said. "I need to borrow money." Is this a big ask, or are you just a bit short? Big, she said. May I know why? You don't trust me? I do. I'll lend you what you need. I was just teasing, she said. I want to buy a place. That's interesting, I said. Is it a place that's already there? Does it earn money? Can I see it online or something? You could, she said. I was hoping you'd come see it. I was puzzled. Where? How far? Just 10 miles, she said. It's by Lake Bacharach. Really? You're joking again? No joke, she said. I looked at their money with someone good at numbers. They earn well. They have a bar so I can listen to people. She giggled at that, and I laughed too. Oh my God, love, that'd be a dream for me. How much do you need? She hit me with a big number. Wow, Beck, aiming high, aren't we? Go big or go home, she replied. Will that make you tight on cash? Not if you pay me back, I told her. I'll work out a pay plan, she said. It should be short-term. Once I own the business and show it makes money, I'll get a bank loan. It's like I've got no credit yet. I get it, I said. This is amazing, Beck. Can't believe you're doing it. It's going to be awesome having you here. I'll check it out and tell you what I think, but you should see it too. She did, 3 weeks later, and we looked around. The place was for fishermen, mainly from the U.S., and it seemed a solid buy. 6 months later, my daughter owned the business, ran it well, and things were looking up. Davy turned into a small star. He loved the attention and was living the high life. Beck and I spent a lot of time together, and I became a regular at the bar. Watching Beck tend bar was a treat, using her psychology tricks. Her restaurant was top-notch, and locals loved it. It was always full, but she had a special table in the kitchen, and they always found a spot for me. One Friday night, I was there, and the chef asked if I'd mind sharing my table with someone else. I was not keen, but I agreed. Sure, I said. He left and came back with a woman. My jaw dropped. She was stunning. Dressed in a classy yellow dress that highlighted her tan skin, with one shoulder out, ending just below the knee. There was a slit on the side, showing off her beautiful brown legs as she walked. Her hair, a mix of shiny black and bits of auburn, flowed around her. Her forehead was wide and tall, her big eyes so dark they seemed black. She had high bones in her cheeks, a classic beauty, full lips, and a chin that came to a point, making her face look like a heart. He pulled out her chair, and when she sat down, he said, Miss Valiente, meet Mr. Barton. He is the dad of the one who owns this place. I stood up as she sat. Then I sat down and reached out my hand. Barnes, please, let's keep it casual over dinner. She gave a soft laugh that felt like music, and I wanted to hear it again. You can call me Nita, she said, her English clear but with a lovely accent. Her voice was deeper than most women's, but smooth and warm. It looked like she had already asked for her drink because a worker brought her a glass that seemed to be filled with sangria. Finding words was hard. This beauty shook me. It's packed out there, I said. Good thing they had this table. Yes, I did not book ahead, she said. Tomas can usually squeeze me in, but I didn't want to sit at the bar tonight. There's someone there I'd rather not see. I get it. I didn't, but it didn't matter. I was happy that person was there because it meant I could spend time with Nita, listen to her talk. Don't worry, I'm here. My job for now is to fend off any annoying folks for you. Her cheeks got a touch of pink. I'm glad to have someone so bold to keep me safe. She laughed again, and it thrilled me. Do you come here a lot? I do, I said. Like Tomas said, my daughter runs the place. And even though I can cook, I'm on my own, so I drop by. Ah, the kind Beck, she said. I'm getting to like her a lot. We're becoming pals, she and I. Really? Well, that's nice to hear she's making pals, I said. Do you stay around here? I do, she said. I've got a place by the Sinaloa River. I'm there most days, but I also spend time in Los Mochis. You must be close by? I laughed. Yes, I'm quite the roamer, Nita. I see, she said. Did you move here from the U.S. like Beck? About a year ago, I said. I got here before Beck. She visited, loved it, and got this lodge. What made you come? She asked. Fishing at first, I said, and I still love it. I sold my business in the States and wanted to see new places. What was your business? She asked, then quickly added, Sorry, that's not my place. I laughed. It's okay. I made parts for big companies like Caterpillar, John Deere. Wow, a big boss, she said, her smile bright. Not really, but I don't have to work anymore. You're so young, she said. I guess I was lucky, retiring at 49. I'm still working, she said. I could stop, but I like being busy. What do you do? I asked, curious. I move drugs, she whispered, her eyes twinkling. Her joke caught me off guard, and she laughed. Not really. I run a medicine company. We give meds to the health service here in Mexico. That's cool, I said. That's why I stay in Los Mochis, she said, eyeing me. Maybe I should stop working, enjoy life like you. What's the saying? Free feet, no plans? Footloose and fancy-free, I suggested. Yes, that's it. My English slipped. Your English is great, I said. My Spanish isn't as good. Do you want to know what I do here? She asked in Spanish. We switched languages. I'd like to hear, I said. Tell me about Nita. She flashed me another bright smile. I do, I said again. Just 'cause you're pals with Beck, you know. She giggled. Yep, I see why you'd say that. I've got a big piece of land by the river, a few horses, and a lot of cattle. What type? I asked. I've got Gelbvieh cattle. Ever heard of them? Not face to face, I joked, making her laugh hard. It made her look even more stunning. But yeah, I've heard of them. Barnes, you're quite the funny one, she said, calming down. I should let you meet some, get you more familiar. Now it was my turn to laugh. And Nita, you're the funny one, I said. I had to ask, even if it was too personal. Is there a Mr. Valiente? No, she replied. There was, but not now. He was in oil and stuff. There was a big, bad explosion, and he didn't make it. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Nita, my big mouth. It's okay, she said. It's been 11 years. I remember the good stuff, you know? I nodded. Yeah, the hurt goes away and you think of the happy times. What about Barnes? She asked. Beck must have a mom. Yeah, and I've got another daughter, Sylvia, 3 years older than Beck, I said, showing her a pic of Syl. She's very pretty, she noted. She doesn't live here? No, she's back in the States with her mom. My wife and I split up almost 2 years ago. Does that hurt to talk about? She asked. It did, I said. It's easier now. We wanted different things. She wanted to see other people. I didn't, to cut a long story short. I'm really sorry to hear that, she said. Well, that's how life goes, I said. So, Nita, can I take you out for food? Maybe next weekend? I'd like that, but not next weekend, she said. I gotta go to Los Mochis the day after tomorrow, and I won't be back till next Tuesday. How about the Friday after I'm back? That works for me, I said. Can I get your number? I'll book a spot and let you know when. Sure, give me your phone, she said. She put her number in my phone. Maybe when you come to get me, I'll show you some cows. She laughed at her own joke. I walked her to her car. It was a shiny, new BMW Z4. Cool! I checked it out, then opened her door for her. She gave me a peck on the cheek, and it zapped me like electricity. You were a great dinner buddy, Barnes, she said. Thanks for having me. Believe me, I was the lucky one. Waiting for that dinner to see you again is going to be tough. You have my number, she said. Call me. Late night works best. I will, I promised. I shut her door and watched her leave. Wow, she was amazing. And she was going out with me. I felt on top of the world as I went back inside to find Beck. She stayed in the lodge, so I knocked on her door. It flew open, and she was all excited. Did you like her? Isn't she amazing? She's super nice too, Dad. Did you ask her out? You sneaky thing. I hugged her and gave her a playful spank. You set this up, she cackled. I did. Did I do well? You were very naughty, I said. Yes, you did well, man, sweetheart. How did you manage that? She adores me, Beck said. I told her about you, and I think you two are just right for each other. Did you ask her out? I did. She's got a trip, but we're set for dinner the Friday after she's back. Oh, and I gotta sort out some wheels better than the truck. You can use my car, Beck said. Thanks. That'll do for now, but I need to get my own car soon. The next day, I texted Nita. Looks like you two are teaming up against me. She replied with lots of hearts and happy faces. Yep, you can't win against us, so Beck told you. My own kid, I texted back. Looking forward to our dinner. She sent more emojis back. I was so excited each day felt like forever. It was like being back in high school, waiting to go out with the girl I liked. It made me think of an old chat with Collins about missing the buzz of being young. Funny thing, now I felt all that excitement again. I wondered if she did too. I texted Nita daily and she would text me more, sometimes skipping a day, and we talked twice. Talking with her was something else. We'd mix Spanish and English, chat about our days, and it was easy, like we'd been buddies for years. When she was back in town, my excitement grew. I grabbed Beck's car instead of my usual truck for the date. Though I didn't mind the truck, it just didn't feel right for meeting up the first time. I drove by the river, following my phone. Not many houses around, just the river curving along. My phone told me to turn into a driveway, and I hit a gate. Couldn't see a house, but spotted a call button. I pressed it. "Hello, is that you, Barnes?" Nita's voice came through. "That's me. Your date's here," I said. She laughed. "Happy you're here. I think we'll have a good time. Come on in." She buzzed the gate open, and I drove up the driveway. It felt like I walked 2 miles. The road had lots of turns. I thought I might be lost until I saw the house. It was a big, wide house on a high spot over the river. The view was wow. I hit the doorbell. After a bit, a young girl opened it. She was pretty and looked about 12 or 13. I saw an older lady waiting behind her. She reached out her hand. "Welcome, Mr. Barnes. I'm Pia. Nita is my mom. You're taking her out for dinner, right?" "I'm happy to meet you, Pia," I said in Spanish. "You look just like your mom. You're as pretty as she is. Do you speak English?" She blushed, looking happy. "Yes, I speak English, Spanish, and French," she said. "I'm better at English than French." "I bet you're good at all," I said. "Yes, I want to take your mom out. Is that cool with you?" She looked me up and down. "Yes, you are. How do you say very hot for someone older?" I laughed. "You're too kind, and I'm not old." She laughed too, just like her mom. "That was bad, right? Also, you are Beck's dad, and I really like her." "Me too," I said. She took my hand in her small one and showed me through to a big space. It looked like a place for living, eating, and I saw a kitchen further in. "This is Xanatus," she said, pointing to the older lady. "Nice to meet you," I said. "She's my friend and helps out when Mom isn't here," she told me. "Mom will be ready soon. Want something to drink, Mr. Barnes, while we wait?" "What do you have?" I asked. "I'm having lemonade," she said. "We've got lots of juices or drinks for grown-ups." "Lemonade sounds great," I said. "You don't need to say Mr. Just Barnes is fine." "Yes, just Barnes," she said, her big eyes bright and full of fun. "This does seem like a weird name, huh?" That made me laugh. "You're such a gem," I said. "A funny one, too." She let out a laugh. "Yes, I do love a good laugh. Let's have our drink outside, Zanetta. I'll go get it, just Barnes." And she laughed once more. "Stay here." "I'll go with your guest, Pia. I got this. Don't worry," Zanetta said. "It's fine," I said. "I'll help Pia, so I won't feel left out." We took our tall glasses filled with cool lemonade and went back to the main room. The whole south side was made of glass doors that slid open, and she took me through, her hand in mine. We stepped onto a porch, went down some steps and onto a big wooden deck. Overhead, big fans shaped like leaves hung from the thick vine-wrapped beams, moving slow. The look of the river and the valley far out was stunning. "I really like it here," Pia said. "Let's sit and talk." She was quite the charming kid. "I've met your mom once," I said. "Just once in person. We never got to talk about Pia." "She's probably too shy to talk about having such a cool daughter," she joked. "She keeps quiet about me, scared people might like me more than her." We both laughed at that, and then Zanetta came out with the lemonade jug. "Thanks, Zanetta," we both said together, making Pia giggle again. "It seems you take others' thoughts," she said. "I do," I admitted. "Everyone around me ends up wearing hats made of foil." "Do we need some?" she asked. "Should I tell Mom?" "No," I said. "I need to know what she's thinking so I can do things to make her happy." She thought about that. "That's a smart plan," she said. "Barnes has it all figured out." "Seeing as this is my first date in ages," I said, "I need all the help I can get." "Hey, Pia, I could spend days just talking with you. But do you think your mom will be ready to see us soon?" "My mom loves to make an entrance," she said. "I bet she'll show up soon, ready for you to see how great she looks." "Thanks for letting me know, Pia." Then I heard that voice, deep and smooth, like it came from a jazz club deep in the night. We looked up, and wow, There she was, looking amazing, standing at the top of the stairs. She was wearing a simple, stunning white dress that fell to her knees with some lace at the V-neck. It showed off her skin and her great legs. On her feet were tan sandals that tied up her legs, and her wide white hat made her look like a star. "See?" Pia snapped me out of my daze. "You look so pretty, Mom. Don't you think so, Barnes?" I had to clear my throat before answering. "Yes, absolutely, Nita, you look wonderful." She smiled. "I see you've met the little one." "Yes, and she's quite something," I said. "Pia, it was great meeting you, and I hope we see more of each other. You're quite the charmer." I finished my drink and walked over to offer my date my arm. "I had no idea you had such a gem," I said. "She was meant to be a surprise," she replied. "I thought once you met her, you'd fall for her. I love her more than anything, Barnes." "I see that, and I understand why," I said. The dinner was as good as I had heard, and my date was out of this world. Next door, there was Salon Tenampa, a place full of music and colors. They had a huge mariachi band, the biggest I've ever seen. It was full of life and song, and I got to dance with Nita. Dancing with her was a whole new world for me. She was the best dancer I'd ever met, and I had a hard time keeping up. She knew it all, from old Mexican dances to salsa and tango. The last dance we stayed for was slow and sweet. Holding that fire-like beauty close was something guys would do big deeds for. The ride to her place, I was almost not there. It was like just she and I were in the world. It ended at her door, where she gave me a kiss. And that was the best thing in my life so far. She was lovely, her lips soft and smooth. She added a bit of tongue, not too much, but hot and as thrilling as she was. Before I left, she said I could bring Beck to spend the day with Nina and Pia next Saturday. She let me take a snap to send to Beck, and she touched my face gently, making me feel on top of the world. Then she was gone. Sylvia called me that Tuesday afternoon. "Dad, when can I FaceTime you and Beck?" she asked. "How about 8 tonight, our time? I'm having dinner at her place, and she should be free then." "Okay. Could you ask her and send me a snap?" "I can do that," I said. "Is something up, honey?" "No, it's nothing bad. Don't worry. I just got to talk to you both." "I always want to talk to you," I said. She laughed. "Send me the snap. Love you, Dad." "Love my girl," I said. Beck was okay with it, and we sat in her living room when Sylvia called. After we caught up, Sylvia told us why she called. "Dad, Beck, I don't like it up here without you. I'm tired of bad dates. I don't like my job, and Mom makes me unhappy. I want to move down there." "Really?" Beck was super happy. "That'd be awesome, Sylvia. Do you think you can get a job?" "I think so," she said. "I'm planning to buy the travel agency that books the lake lodges." "You're booking our place too, Beck." "Wow, you did your homework, huh?" I said. "Sylvia, it'd be great to have you near, and Beck would love it." "You sure, kiddo?" "Sure," she said. "Wanted to check with you first in case you didn't want me." She let out a tiny cry, and it tore me up. "Sylvia, I'm so sorry you felt that," I said. "I love you, little one. I'll always want you, always." "Syl, even though we argued about Mom," Beck said, "I love you too. You're my big sis. Remember when you hit Jamie Myers for picking on me? I was so young." That got a small, teary laugh from Sylvia. "Sure did. He was no good bothering my little sister." "When do you think this will happen?" I asked. "Might take a month or 2, she said. "I've started planning." "This is amazing," Beck said. "Can't wait." We chatted for another hour, and it all seemed set. In the camper that night, I thought about how things were going for me. One great thing after another. Beck moving here, meeting Nita, who I hoped would be a big part of my life, and now Sylvia coming. Things couldn't be better. I asked Nita on Friday if I should bring anything. "Beck says you make a great pico," she said. "Bring that." I went to the store and bought fresh stuff, made a big bowl. We drove the truck to Nita's on Saturday. I wondered what Nita and Pia would think of it. They clearly lived well. I wasn't poor, and choosing to live in a camper was my thing. But would they see me as a wanderer? We'd see. Pia rushed out when we arrived and jumped on Beck the moment she stepped out. She came over and gave me a hug, but not as big. "We're heading to the river," she said. "Mom's made all we need for a taco feast." "Yum," Beck said. "Sounds good." "Come on in," Pia said. Mom and Zanetta are getting stuff ready." She grabbed our hands and let us in. We went to the kitchen and saw coolers and baskets on the counter. They were busy packing up bowls and dishes into baskets and drinks into coolers. We jumped in to help, and soon everything was set. "Barnes has his truck," Pia said. "It'll be perfect to get us there." I had to smile at how she said it. She's such a fun girl. We loaded up and Beck and Pia got in the back seat. Nita and I sat up front and we drove off, following the turns she told us about. "Good thing you're here," I said. "I'd get lost trying to leave." She laughed. "There's a lot to see here," she said. "We've got places for different work." "Like what?" Beck wanted to know. "Horse barns, sheds for tools, storage, cattle barns, and stuff like that," Nita answered. "We got to the river and saw a gazebo and a dock there with 3 jet skis. There were 2 picnic tables under the gazebo and a grill." "I thought we'd heat things on the grill," Nita said. "But since you've brought your house, we can use your stove." "We can," I said. "It's got everything we need, but small." "I'd love a look inside," Pia said. "I've never seen a house like this." "I'll show you around," I said. We heated the taco shells in the oven and I showed them around. Pia had to try lying on my bed, sitting in every chair and checking each gadget. She and Beck took our things to the tables, and I sneaked a moment to kiss Nita. She was all in, giving me one of the best kisses ever. She stepped back and looked into my eyes. Her skin was dark but now had a pink flush, and she seemed out of breath. "Hey, pretty," I said. "I couldn't wait to be alone and do that." She laughed. "Glad to know you wanted to." "Me too," she said, quiet. Beck and Pia came back and we got our late lunch ready. They all said nice things about my pico, but all the food was good. We sat and chatted for about an hour, then Pia asked if we wanted to go on the jet skis. The girls were in shorts and t-shirts and went to change. Pia came out first and talked to me while I checked the jet ski lift. Beck and Nita came out and I went to change into my swim shorts. One jet ski was in the water when I got back, and we quickly got the other 2 in water. "Can I ride with you, Barnes?" Pia asked. "I'd like that," I said. "Don't you drive them?" "I do," she said. "Maybe later I can drive and Mom can ride with you." Beck and Nita took off their wraps and I stopped dead. I knew Nita was amazing, but seeing her in a bikini got me. It wasn't too wild, but she was. Beck was Beck. Tiny, pretty, and lively. Nita was different. She had curves, and not how some say is a nice way of saying fat. Far from it. She saw me looking and her cheeks got warm, and she crossed her arms over her chest. "Ready?" she asked. We were, and Pia got on behind me. The jet ski I had was more powerful and longer. We let Nita lead since she probably knew the river best. We must have gone up the river for 5 miles or so. We passed under a bridge and went around a bend before Nita slowed down. She pointed to a little hill off to the east and we moved closer. There was a path going up and around the hill, and when I looked at where she was pointing, I saw a rope tied high in a tree. We turned off the engines. "Want to try the rope swing?" she asked. Pia was all excited, hopping behind me. "Yes, we must," she said. "It's real fun. You swing out far over the river, then let go of the rope and drop. The water's deep here." It seemed a bit risky to me, but I was up for trying, and Beck looked ready too. Nita stood in the water holding the jet skis while we climbed to the top of the hill. "Who's going first?" I asked. "Beck should go," Pia said. "I've done it before, and I want to see her." Beck grabbed the bar on the rope. "Hold on tight," I said to her. She nodded and let out a yell as she swung out over the river. It was the biggest swing I'd seen. I can't say how far she swung, but she must have been about 15 feet high at the top. She dropped and vanished under the water. Then she popped up, flinging her hair back and wiping water from her eyes before swimming back to Nita. "Oh my God, Dad, that was amazing! You have to try!" I thought Pia should go next, and she flew out like a bird, twisting in the air into a dive. She was quite the sporty one. She swam fast, and she and Beck kept the jet skis steady while Nita climbed up to me. I watched her go, and she was smooth as always, with a cute little yell as she swung out. Now it was my turn. Looking down felt 3 times higher than looking up, and I was feeling scared. But I couldn't let a 12-year-old girl outdo me, so I pushed myself to jump from the hill. I fell fast, but the rope pulled me up just in time, my feet barely touching water before I shot up again. I almost didn't let go, but then I did, and jumped into the cool water. What a blast. Nita and I sat on the jet skis, watching Beck and Pia try it 3 more times. Pia wanted to drive, so Nita came with me. I liked having her hold me, feeling her up close. We rode back, pulled the jet skis out, and sat in the sun with cold drinks, soaking up the warmth. As the day ended, we headed back. We thanked them for the fun day. After a sweet kiss, Beck and I went home. She asked me to stay for dinner, so I did. "How do you feel, Dad?" she asked. "Pretty good. A bit worn out," I said. "Sun and water always do that." "Yes," she agreed, "but I mean about Nita and Pia. Pia is sweet, hard not to love her, and Nita, I have feelings I didn't think I'd have again," I admitted. "She makes me happy. She's not just beautiful, she's kind, funny, smart, a great mom, and stands on her own. She's all I could want. I think she likes me too." "She likes you the same," she said. "She thinks you could be the one." "There's only one," I joked. She laughed. "Make sure it's you. I put in effort here. Don't mess it up." "I'll try my best," I promised. "Thanks, Beck. Now find someone for yourself. You need love, too." "Yeah, I'll look," she said. "Been a bit busy, but I'm looking." I hugged my girl and drove home. Nita and I started to hang out 2 or 3 times a week. I picked Pia up for fishing many times. She asked me to come over for jet skiing when Nita was away for work a few times, and I took her to a Cinco de Mayo party. I was falling for that girl, just like with my own kids. 4 months in, and I was all in love with Nita. When we were together, I felt the happiest I've ever felt. When not, I thought about her all the time and dreamt about her at night. I couldn't wait to see her again and missed her every moment we were not together. We texted all day, and she started sending photos on Snapchat. We kissed a lot after each date, and I desired her in every way. I was very careful. This woman was special, and I wanted everything to be just right. Beck loved her, and Sylvia, when she visited, fell for her too. The 4 of them, Nita, Pia, Beck, and Sylvia, did lots of things together, sometimes with me, sometimes just them. One Monday, I messaged Nita to take her to Tulum for the weekend. She called me back quickly. "Really? I've never gone there, but I've heard it's beautiful with old ruins." She was in Los Mochis, and I said I'd drive there and we could fly from there. "What about Pia?" she asked. "Is this just us, or do you have a plan for her?" "I wanted to bring her," I said. "I was hoping Beck and Sylvia could join too, make it like a family thing." She was quiet for a bit. "Barnes, it means a lot that you see Pia and me as family. You're a good man. I'd love this, and I hope Sylvia and Beck can make it. They've become like my daughters, you know." "I know they love you a lot," I said. "They love Pia, too." "Do you love me a lot?" she asked. I was taken back for a sec, but bounced back fast. "Nita, I'd rather tell you face to face, not over the phone, okay?" "Yes, I get it. Sorry for asking you over the phone. We will go to Tulum, and I'll ask you again face to face." I laughed. "Looks like I can't dodge this one. I checked, and there's a flight at 3 p.m. Can you make it by then?" "I'll make sure I can," she said. "Drive safe with my girls." Asterisk, 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 asterisk. Turns out Sylvia and Beck could come, and Pia was super happy when I told her. We packed up and hit the road, and it was one of the best trips ever. Pia was in the back with Beck, picking the songs. We all took turns choosing tunes. I wasn't a fan of theirs, and they weren't keen on mine. We picked Nita up at her place and headed to the airport. No troubles, and soon we were up in the sky. Tulum was just as Sylvia said, and she did a great job as a travel agent. She got us an all-in-one deal. Our hotel was beachside and super fancy. We spent Saturday on the beach, played in the blue waves, and had dinner outside that night. Beck and Sylvia said they were taking Pia to a beach bash, telling us she'd stay with them that night. They left, and it was just Nita and me. Walking back, I wrapped my arm around her, pulling her close. "Well, that was pretty obvious. Looks like we got set up, Nita." She laughed. "Seems like it. You okay with that, Barnes?" "Only if you are," I said. "I'm all for it, if you are." "I'm happy," she said. I led her to my room and mixed us some drinks. We sat down close on a tiny couch. After she took a sip and set her drink down, I did the same. I took her chin, gently turning her face to me, and kissed her soft lips, her cheeks, her forehead, then held her head close to my chest. She made a happy sound as I hugged her. "Nita, you asked me if I love you. I need to tell you, I love you more than I thought I could." Since I first saw you, you're all I think about. You've taken over my heart, my thoughts, my life. I love you so much." She looked up at me, her eyes deep and full of feelings. "This makes Nita very happy," she said. "I love you, Barnes. I didn't know if I could love again after Emiliano died. I was sad for so long, but now you're here and you have my heart." I felt so much. My heart was full, and I kissed her again. "You have my heart," she said again. "I want to give you all of me, too." "Oh my God, Nita, I've wanted that since I first saw you," I said. "You are the most beautiful and you draw me in. I didn't want to scare you." "I'm not scared," she said. "Only scared if you didn't love me, didn't want me." "Am I crazy?" I asked. "I'd be crazy not to love you, want you. I can't believe others aren't trying to be with you every day." She laughed. "I don't want others, just one." I kissed her to stop the words, and we kissed more, until we had to stop to breathe. Then I stood, pulled her up, and we walked hand in hand to the bedroom. "Can I take off your clothes?" I asked. She nodded, a bit shy. I lifted her chin so she'd look at me. Her eyes were on fire. "You are perfect," I said. "I'm going to love you so much." I woke up with the sun peeking in, and there she was, still in my arms. She looked so calm and pretty asleep, so pure yet full of fire. The night before had left its mark on my mind, in my heart. Watching her, I needed her once more. She was still close to me, and I carefully moved so I could be inside her. She woke up with a surprised sound, and I turned her over, going deeper, taking in the sight of her wonderful backside, so perfect and moving with each push. I gave it a slap, and she let out a happy sound, and the morning turned into our own little world. After resting a bit, someone knocked. "Show a warrant first," I called out. There were girls giggling outside. "Dad, open up!" It was Beck. I quickly put on a robe and Nita covered up. The 3 girls came in, bringing a big breakfast on a cart. They stopped the cart, and Beck and Sylvia jumped on Nita, all laughs and chatter. I took a seat, and Pia climbed onto my lap, wrapping her arms around me and her dark hair falling over us. "You love her, right?" she asked. "I do, and I love you too," I said, holding her close. "I love you," she replied. "I know you got love for us. Mom's got love for you too." I asked her, and she said yes. "I want to be your kid like Beck and Sylvia," she said. Tears of joy and love ran down my face, and I hugged her tight. "It means so much to me, little bug," I said. "I'll do my best to be what you need." "Will you marry Mom?" she asked. "So we're a real family, you know?" I looked at Nita and the girls. They all waited for my answer. "I want that more than anything," I said, "but I gotta talk to your mom alone about it, and right now I'm not ready." I whispered to her, "I don't have a ring yet." "Ah," she said. "Got it." We had breakfast, then rushed to see the Mayan ruin. It was amazing. Having a lovely woman by my side looking at me with love, and a small kid holding my hand, sometimes traded for one of my kids, made it even better. We flew back home Monday morning, all worn out but happy, with memories to last. We left Nita at her place. She had work for 2 more days, and I took the kids to look for a ring. The shops were small, with jewelers making their own stuff. We met an old Cajita man who made beautiful jewelry. He showed us many stones, and one, a bright red-orange fire opal, made the kids excited. "I don't think this is right for an engagement ring," I said. "Shouldn't it be diamonds?" "Nah, Mom would love it," Pia said. "She told me diamonds are, how do you say, tasteless?" We all laughed. "Pretty much the same," Sylvia said. "Insipid. Did she say that?" "Yes, lots of times," Pia said. "See, Dad? She'll love it," Beck pushed. I let them win, and we chose to add 4 small diamonds around it. The jewelry man said he could make it in 2 weeks and send it to me. When it came, I just had to pick when and where. I told Nita I wanted to go over and head back to the small gazebo by the river. I think she guessed what was going on, but she told me to come. She was free. We rode her ATV, and it was a perfect night. Pia got super excited when I shared what I was up to and had to run to her room so she wouldn't spill the beans. I got down on one knee in the gazebo, and when Nita saw, she covered her mouth. I took her hand and said, "Nita, I'm not great with words, but I love you so much. I can't picture a life without you. I don't want to be without Pia, too. Will you marry me? I'll make sure you never feel sorry for saying yes." I showed her the ring, and she put out her hand. I put the ring on and she said, "Yes, Barnes, I really want to be your wife. I want to love you always." She looked at her hand, loving the ring. "I can't believe you chose a fire opal," she said. "It's my favorite." "A little bird told me," I said. "I think I know this bird," she said, her eyes wet with joy. Back at the house, Pia was waiting and ran to us, bouncing with joy. "I can't believe it! Barnes, you'll be my dad!" Then she started to cry. I bent down and hugged her tight. "I thought you'd be happy, kiddo." She held on to me. "I am. I dreamed of this. I feared it'd never happen." "You found me," I told her. "I'll always be here, Pia." After a hug and some tears, she was all giggles again. "This is so cool," I laughed. "You've been with Beck too much. You talk like her now." She laughed. "She's showing me cool new words." We set the date for December 5th, and I was the happiest man alive when Nita walked up in gold. She said she did white before and wanted something new. She was all for breaking the old ways. I moved in with her, but she wanted us to keep the camper. "We might want to hit the road for long trips," she said. "We'll use it, I swear." I took it off the truck and set it up on stands. We used the truck around the house, and it was way easier without the camper hitched. I don't think I had ever been so happy. The only bump came when Sylvia dropped by in our second year and told me we needed to chat. We sat outside, and she got ready to speak. "Mom wants to visit," she said. I let out a breath. "Okay, it was bound to come up. When?" "She wants to come for Christmas," she said. "Sylvia, what do you want?" I asked. It was hard for her to say. I wanted to spend Christmas here with you all. Beck's staying, and I was too. Now I'll have to spend it with Mom. Beck won't, so it's just me. I do love her, Dad. If that makes you sad, I'm sorry. But I remember the good times, what she did for me. I pulled her close. "I get it, Syl. I'm not sad. I'm proud of you." She let out a few tears, and I held her. "It'll be all right. It's not what you hoped for, but it is what it is. You can still be here some of the time. It's hard, but you can tell your mom you have plans for Christmas dinner. She has to accept it. It's on her, not you." "It's tough," she said, "but I'll manage. I just had to tell you. What if she wants to see you, talk to you?" "I'll talk to Nita," I said. "She's got more sense than me. Let's see what she thinks." Sylvia stayed with me and Pia for the rest of the day, and we had dinner before she took off. Nita was in Los Mochis for 2 more days, and when she got back, we talked. We sat on the couch looking at the fire, and I told her about Sylvia's visit and what she said. She took a sip of her wine and looked at the fire, thinking, "How do you feel about seeing her, Barnes?" "I've been thinking about that," I said. "It had to happen. She's the girl's mom, and I knew she'd want to see them one day. I don't feel much about her. I loved her for years. We had happy times, but the way it ended changes those memories." She moved closer and put her cheek on my arm. "We should all have dinner together at the lodge," she said. "I want to meet her, Barnes, see what she's like." "Really?" I said. "Yes, she was a big part of your life. And the girls. I might go see her alone." That worried me, but Nita does what she thinks is right. She's strong and has made me worry before, but she's always okay. When Collins came, she stayed at Beck's place. I saw less of the girls. They were with her. Nita did meet her, and if there was any trouble, she didn't say. I asked Nita what she thought. "I like her," she said. "Really?" "Yes, she's changed a lot," she said. "Sylvia and Beck think so, too. She's thoughtful now, looks inside herself, kind to me." "That's good, right?" I said. "I think so," she said. "We talked about you." "I hope you didn't believe her," I said. She laughed. "I listened. She had only good things to say." I made a face. "Yeah, right." She smiled. "Well, she didn't like your intransigence, for sure." "Yeah," I replied. "But it's okay. You're still here with me." "No harm," she said. "I love you, Barnes. That won't change." Then Pia came and snuggled with us, my arms around both my dear girls. It poured hard the days before Christmas, and the river turned wild. I had to save the dock, moving it up 3 times in the night. The water wrecked 2 parts of our fence. I got up early on Christmas Day, and one of our workers helped me fix it. We planned to eat it too, and I was done by noon. I thought Sylvia and Beck would be here by then. We wanted to open gifts after eating, and the tree was hidden by all the presents. When I got back, the house was empty, so I showered and got dressed. Then, I went to find the girls. They weren't there, though Sylvia's car was parked outside. I made a warm rum punch and spiced cider, grabbed a rum punch for myself. The perfect Christmas drink, I figured. I heard voices and the door opened. Pia ran into her spot by me. Davy came and lay by our feet, letting out a happy sigh and then snoring. "That smells nice," Pia said. "What's that?" "Rum punch," I told her. "Can I try?" I let her, and she made a face. "Yuck," she said. "It smells better than it tastes." I laughed. "You've got to get used to it, kiddo. I also made spiced cider. Go get some." She got some, then Beck walked in. She liked the smell, too, and enjoyed the rum punch. Sylvia came in next, and my mouth fell open when Nita walked in with Collins. They saw my look, and Nita came over. "Don't be mad, Barnes. Collins had nowhere to go. No one should be alone on Christmas, so I called and asked her over." I wasn't mad, but not happy either. Nita pulled me up and took me over to Collins. "Collins wants to talk," she said. "Take her to the office." I led to the counter, offered her cider or punch. She chose hot cider, and we headed to the office. Nita, Pia, and I had chairs. I sat while she took Nita's. "You look good, Barnes," she started. "Thanks, you too," I replied. She indeed looked great, slim and fine. She nodded. "I need to say sorry to you, Barnes," she went on. "I was mean just thinking of me. I know I was wrong and it hurt. I need your forgiveness. I hope you're still the kind man I knew, to give me what I don't deserve." I took a moment. "No big talks from me," I said. "What happened? Let me find this place. I was down, but not now." "I see that," she said, "and I'm truly sorry for the hurt." I took a sip of my drink. "I forgive you," I admitted. "You've met Nita and Pia. That girl means a lot to me, Collins. Sylvia and Beck adore her. She's like their sis." "They love Nita, too, kind of an older sis to them. You're still their mom, Collins. You're always welcome. Nita likes you. The girls said you've changed. That's good. I hope you find happiness. I plan to, and if you can be okay with that, I'll respect you for it." "Friends?" she hoped. "We'll see," I warned. "Just no trouble." She laughed. "I won't. You're doing well, Barnes. I'm still searching." Nita knocked. "Time to eat," she said. We all sat at the big table. Pia said a short prayer, and the room filled with laughter and happy talk. I looked over at Nita. She gave me a smile and a wink. Pia fed Davy bits of food, who adored her. My girls talked and laughed, and Collins was lively and seemed to be having fun. It looked like it was going to be a good Christmas. Hey, audience. If you liked this video and want to keep up with more thrilling stories, make sure to subscribe to Prince Cheating Tales and hit the notification bell. You don't want to miss out on our upcoming adventures. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next wonderful story.